Hey Olivia. So today I traded NURO. These lines I drew, while they're not perfectly on a low, I try to draw them to where they touch a few points, um, horizontals or dailies. Today wasn't exactly the strategy, but it was based off the same price action. I'd say this was the main area, but it had gotten above VWAP again, and I started looking at it again. I think that would have been too early to trade in anyhow, but we'll zoom in here. So I took a starter as it tapped the VWAP and pulled down and broke the low of that candle. It wasn't, these red candles weren't on an impressive amount of volume. So I might not have been as sure, but with keeping my stops, follow my stops better, I'm okay with taking the position. I started liking to see this red volume come in, broke this supporting line. I didn't really like, after I got in, the double bottom there. And it went up, broke the VWAP. I think my stop was up here close to, I think based on risk it was 27. I liked having this resistance line below my stop. There's that 8 o'clock candle. A little bit more red volume, breaking those lows there. Touch support. Not a crazy amount of green volume coming in. Good rejection off the VWAP. So I was a little concerned on these candles. I didn't like seeing this volume curl up. I like that this candle shot up for a second. It had multiple areas of resistance. I liked that it closed below that lowest resistance. Was more concerned during this candle. Did like the lower volume though. Didn't break into any new highs. Then we had a good flush with a good amount of volume. So I had considered getting out here just from the two pushes. I didn't really think it would go much lower than this, at least not soon. I think I had tried to get out here. I tried to cover half my position. It didn't fill. It popped back up. So when something's pushing down, I set a cover, and if it doesn't fill, I'm not necessarily anxious to try to fill it right away, because now I want to wait for it to test that upper limit and come back down. I think I tried to get out again here, and I didn't get a fill. I'd say if I thought this play was completely done, I probably would have covered here to make sure I locked in some gain, but I thought it was still pretty weak, so I just went ahead and kept watching it. Finally broke this low here, but just for a split second, and it was hitting some good bid support, so I went ahead and covered half there. It wasn't quite to my goal, but when something's not breaking by much, I think you can't be too stubborn on your goal that has nothing to do with the chart. So you just gotta let the chart tell you when to get out sometimes. And I took the rest out on this push here. So at market open, I was going back and forth because KODK, which I'll talk about in a minute, was a pretty good setup, and I had gotten in, I think around 9:15ish. So right in this area, I was getting more interested in KODK, but I don't know. I feel like sometimes when you get honed into one stock, you get attached to it a little more. So I just was going to focus more on NURO, because I thought maybe if it popped back up towards VWAP, it would give another good entry to possibly follow through. This was my starter. It was a bad fill. I wanted to get a starter at 390, so I'm not exactly sure what happened right there, but I guess it was just moving so fast. I took the rest of my position as I got closer to VWAP. In hindsight, probably could have waited a little longer. It was respecting that resistance there. This was getting close to my stop. Yeah, I think my stop was 420, which was a little bit more than I think usual, but yeah, so with this poor entry here, technically it would have been above my risk level, but I think had my entry been where I wanted to, we still would have been okay. I like seeing the red volume come in though. I think the target here from this position was like 650s. I'd say, you know what, I didn't calculate it from that way. Okay, so I guess it would have still been around the 50s, but should have taken out at the low of that candle. Did not like this green volume coming in. Still had big red candles that were consuming, so I thought that looked good, but I didn't like seeing all these big bids in this area and then also all these bids that were in this area. I thought maybe some longs were accumulating. but I just was going to let myself get stopped. I did like that these bigger red candles were topping tails. This one was more of a doji, but I went ahead and covered as it broke that resistance line. It was a good thing I did because it moved up pretty high. And I didn't go back to it, but this would have been a pretty good opportunity right in here. I'd say this big red candle breaking the lows here. That would have been a good play. Maybe added on this pop off VWAP. Good red volume coming through. Decent red volume through the VWAP. But at that point, I was pretty much done. One winner, one loser. Winner twice as big as the loser, so half my daily goal. Can't complain about that. KODK. I didn't have my hotkeys set right for a $13 stock, so I think I had to push twice, but ideally I would have taken a starter here, and I added as it was breaking the low of these candles here. Good bodied red candle. I didn't really like the bounce off the VWAP. And here's where we were getting close to the market open, and I was kind of going back and forth whether I watch this one or stick with NURO, and it's kind of a bummer because I wouldn't have even gotten stopped out here, and then it ended up just flushing way down. So that definitely caused for some FOMO today, but that's the name of the game. So, well, look forward to checking out your video, and I'll talk to you later.